Hello and welcome to Fantastic Frontier. Fantastic Frontier is an open-world adventure game where many players can choose their own path and how they want to play. The game is filled with tons of items, and each and every single item and interactable the player encounters has its own different value. On top of this, there are many different aspects to the game for the player to explore and progress with. This means it's not your typical adventure game where you go from quest to quest to quest, killing monsters, killing bosses, and leveling up. This game is, however, a free and open adventure game however the player wants to progress. Players can go and mine up rare minerals and build their own armor and weapons if they really want to. Alternatively, players can go fishing and fish up fish to make a profit, or to get some treasure chests and open it up for some rare valuable items. Players can also go adventuring, find rare plant life, and sell it for a profit. But if we do go back to basics, players can also just do the normal thing in all adventure games and fight monsters, kill bosses, and get experience through that. Before we get too into this game doesn't have a level system. The game purely works on armor and weaponry. So your character, you don't get any extra additional stats from killing enemies or killing monsters. The way you do get stats is through your items, such as your armor, any trinkets, headwear, and weaponry. Some armor is only going to work for melee weapons, and some armor might be really good for melee and ranged weapons. Some trinkets can boost your magic power, and some trinkets can boost your healing rate. All of the pieces of equipment that you do put on your character is going to determine your stats and help your build. Your progression in this game is how you want to play it, and all of your armor sets and weapons come from your progression. Don't worry though, the game is filled with a huge amount of items. We're talking about a huge amount of plants, enemies, ores, minerals, weaponry, armor sets, trinkets, and the list goes on and on and on. If you do enjoy one aspect of the game, such as fishing, you can still progress for rare items through fishing, such as treasure chests, which will give you a random item, and sometimes it can be a really good armor set or maybe a weapon. Before we dive too far into this video, I do want to mention heavily that this game is going to be a little bit scary or a little bit frightening for new players. I say this because when you start out, you're not the strongest of characters yet. The world of Fantastic Frontier is very vast in how many enemies and items there are, and due to this, a huge amount of enemies can pack a punch very easily into new players. That is why I am giving you this heads up real quick if you are a new player. I honestly recommend traveling with a buddy or a friend or some players, because this way if you do encounter a difficult enemy, you don't have to worry about soloing it or trying to evade it all on your own. As mentioned, the world is vast, and due to this, there are many ways to proceed very quickly and easily, along with safely when you're starting out. For example, you can go mining and get a full armor set without wasting any money at all at the beginning. Alternatively, you can go and gather some rare plants and sell them for a profit and then buy a better weapon from there on. You can still go fight and hunt monsters, but it might be a little bit challenging starting out. Not too challenging, but definitely if there's a giant enemy nearby, I would highly advise you to back away. While on the topic of how vast the world is, there are a ton of different areas in the world of Fantastic Frontier. Different regions and areas of the world are going to have different variety of items and creatures. So you can find different fish at different ponds or different bodies of water, along with different plant life and different enemies that you might encounter. Some areas of the world of Fantastic Frontier are their own little subworld, filled with different enemies that you might have never even seen before. I honestly cannot express how filled and how vast the world of Fantastic Frontier is. This is a major reason why Fantastic Frontier is one of my favorite adventure games. It's due to how open the game is and free of choice to players. I would honestly highly recommend this game if you're anyone who loves adventure games or open world games. This game is definitely filled with tons of items and tons of content. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this video was very helpful and informational to anyone who's looking for a new game to go and try out. That's gonna be all for this video, and I will see ya.